Hi, everybody. I wanted to get the word out there about our new Kickstarter. At the end of May, Indie PopCon is coming to Indianapolis, and we are trying to put up a couple of booths in their podcast alley. Head over to Kickstarter. You can go to tinyurl.com/nerdpopkick and check out what we have to offer for rewards, what all's going on, how much we need. We're most of the way to our goal already, but we'd love to have some more support and reach some stretch goals. So thank you for your support and your time, and we will talk to you real soon.
A word for our listeners. Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, George Chimples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep Side Quest. This is our first of, I'm going to assume 4, that George is going to run for us to fill in some spots between chapters. So I'm going to hand the game over to George and let him get us started.
All right. So first, I'd like to throw a couple caveats out there, since why not? Yeah. I'm a bit nervous. This is my first time running game for this group of people, and I was called yesterday in the afternoon and asked if I could do this in a pinch, because as you'll hear, Jason couldn't be with us today. So I've been planning to run this story in about a month and a half, I think. Mm-hmm. So instead I had a day and a half. So hopefully it'll be good. It might be a little rough around the edges. The beginning might be a little bit compressed in order to get you guys all into the same spot. So it feels a bit railroady. Hopefully that won't be through the entire game. I hope not. But at the beginning it might be a little bit abstracted. And we also, this is currently being recorded when the Colts are playing a playoff game against the New England Patriots. Yes, Boo Patriots. So if it's on in the background, or if it's on mute in the background, but if someone should suddenly start cheering, we know why.
Go Colts.
So I think that should cover any kind of eventualities. Then for the game, the name of this will be, because I think all good Call of Cthulhu games need names, will be The Smile from the Stars is the title of this session. Oh, and also the timing might be messy, because we'll see. I have no idea how long this will clock out.
That's fine. What was the name of it?
The Smile from the Stars.
The Smile from the Stars.
You know you just got that on the list to do it. No, that's fine.
Who edits these things?
I wanted to hear it now so I can know as a player. I'm just a player tonight.
The setting is San Francisco. The year is 2013. The date is June 16th. It's San Francisco in the summertime, which means it's actually fairly cold. And it's actually been colder than usual. So we're talking about between 40 and 50 degrees, foggy, moist. That's where we are today. Before we get into the meat of it, you've all had time to review who your characters are. Some of you have asked questions about where you are geographically in the city and things like that. So is there any other questions before we start about people's characters?
Do you want us to introduce our characters a little bit?
No, I'll do that later.
Okay.
Good. In a second. So no questions. We're good. Good to start. Good to go.
Yeah.
Yep. So the San Francisco Giants are playing the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Giants have given the Archdiocese of San Francisco some tickets, and so some nuns from a convent and a couple of priests have decided to attend the game. There's also a handyman who's not a native San Franciscan, but has lived in the city for years, who decided to attend. And then a recent transplant to the city who had a friend who invited him, but he couldn't go, but this man had nothing better to do, so he's going to go and take in a game. And then there's also, the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants who is, playing center field, so he's expected to be there. So you guys are all at this baseball game. Pretty good seats. The San Francisco Giants won the World Series last year, so tickets are a little expensive, but you guys know people if it's outside your cost, or if you're a member of the clergy and you've gotten your own. You've gotten your own tickets, or you're playing in the game. Question.
Side question. I should have asked this before.
Yes.
As a professional baseball player with the Giants, I have no credit rating.
You do. Don't worry about that.
Okay, just checking.
Credit
It's
rating.
tied up in investments.
Oh no! All right.
Credit
I
rating
just said stuff the money in an envelope and send it home. I got it. Okay.
Credit rating is more of a 1920s thing than a modern day thing.
Oh, okay.
Difference, yeah.
No,
We're going to
explain
massage
that
your money a
earlier.
little bit, so
That's fine.
yeah, if you need access to funds, you will certainly have it. So it's the third inning. You all have been enjoying a nice evening. It's a little bit cold. You're kind of bundled up for the weather. Matt and Shirley, your characters are sitting next to each other. Maybe you two want to describe yourselves to each other so you actually know each other.
I am Father Tom O'Shaughnessy, priest from All Hallows Chapel in San Francisco. I'm not terribly old, but probably starting to gray at the temples. A little large, probably 6 foot. A little muscly, not terribly like beat a guy to death with muscles, but not skinny armed or at all. I'm usually in my priestly vestments of a shirt and a collar and probably nice slacks. Probably today I have a heavier jacket on to ward off the cold weather.
Okay.
When I go by Father Tom.
Father Tom.
Because most people can't say O'Shaughnessy.
Father O'Shaughnessy.
It's Father Tom.
Father Tom.
Good.
Okay. I am Sister Rosemary Espinoza. She's in her 30s. She's athletic build. I don't know what size 10 means. And
That's a little bigger than average, but not that much.
okay, so 5'7".
Yeah.
Let's do 5'7". 5'7", athletic. From the name, I would. She's of Latin background. And she lives in the convent at the Sacred Heart High School, where she is a counselor, and she counsels to the students mostly, but then she also does outside counseling to families and the homeless, and she does kitchen work. And tonight she is dressed in her Giants cap and her Giants shirt, with her Giants gloves, and she has a very nice warm coat on, jeans and some tennis shoes. She kind of looks hip. She's definitely not in her garb or sister garb. So, and she knows about the game. She's probably talked to you throughout the evening about the calls on the field. Wait, yes, field.
Is Father Tom an Irish?
He doesn't look it.
Hard drinking.
No.
Priest type.
Nope.
Okay.
He's actually a very clean living priest type. You know that I counsel on drug addiction. From my past, I was at one point in time. I'm vague about my own past within the church, but I was at one point in time addicted and living on the streets. So that is, I'm not big into drinking or drugs. So I don't have a beer in hand at the baseball game.
Because I was thinking beer. Did you bring the hip flask?
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's something I should also say about the hip flask reminds me. This being a sporting event in the current day, you are all wanded as you go in. This is also, in real life, in San Francisco, there's been some shootings and stabbings around, I know Niners games around Candlestick Park, and I think there might have been a couple around AT&T Park, which is where you guys currently are. which is where they played baseball games. And so if you're thinking about carrying a firearm or a knife or a flask or something like that, it would certainly be found and certainly not be looked kindly upon.
We just explained that the machine guns are holy implements.
Yeah. Well, the priest, you can bring whatever you want. You got a rocket launcher, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
We blessed it. It's a spiritual weapon.
yeah, so people should be aware of that. Also, I forgot to ask, would any of you be interested in having seen a theater event, going to a play at a certain point before in the week previous?
What kind of a play?
An avant-garde play.
No, thank you.
If I have the time. You got the time?
I would have.
Is it a play or a musical?
It is not a musical.
Okay, then nothing.
It has been. It's in one of the fringe theaters, kind of called the Marsh, that's known for kind of avant-garde type shows. And you might have been approached. You would have been approached by one of your students, Sister Rosemary, and she says, I saw this play and I can't stop thinking about it, and it was just so strange to me, but made me feel something. I don't really know how to process it. And she tries to kind of describe it to you, but the stuff she's saying doesn't make sense. It's kind of odd. So maybe you felt like you wanted to go see it yourself.
Yes.
And Gordon, maybe you felt like
I'm always up for checking out the local culture.
it's getting a big buzz. People are saying it's kind of crazy. It might be this new advancement. There's kind of cool techniques. So it's been running for about a month. You're able to get tickets. It's in a mid-sized theater. The name of the play is...
Like the Phoenix Theater. Nobody would ever know what that means in our audience. But...
I don't know what that means.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, then never mind.
Mm.
I mean, if you don't know what it means. The Phoenix is the mid-side. It's a theater downtown where they do a lot of the
Is that
fringe.
that's not the Walker, is it?
No.
There's
Phoenix.
I don't know where that is.
The Phoenix
it's
is
on
that
Mass.
place that burned down and was rebuilt.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Just
you're hilarious. So,
And by downtown, we're in Indianapolis.
Yes, we're talking about out of game now. Out of
Sorry.
game business. No, it's fine.
So.
Yeah, this would be kind of like a mid-size. It's not the nicest. It's not like seating 50 people. I'd say, maybe a couple hundred. Not a couple hundred, maybe like 200 or so. Yeah, a couple hundred. And so you go, and so the play itself is called Carcosa on the Shores of Lake Ali, which doesn't mean anything to you. And the first act is actually really boring. It's sort of about this nuclear family that is just doing kind of boring suburban things, and there's like a father and a couple kids and a mom, and they just have these like really just seemingly boring conversations. There's nothing interesting going on. It's like kind of like Death of the Salesman, except bad and not meaningful. So you're like, why is this?
So it's like Dillinger's dead.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say that.
So then in the second act, it starts off and it's almost exactly like the first act. They're repeating almost the same dialogue, the same setup for about 5 or 10 minutes. So do you guys stick around and kind of...
Yeah, I got nothing better to do.
I would have, yes, because I'm very concerned about what the student said to me.
Okay. At a certain point, the father comes on stage and he's got something covering his face that's almost jelly-like. Just covering his whole face. It's kind of gloopy looking. It's like a mask. If you made a mask out of almost like a kind of a clear, thick latex, and it's wet and slick. He's still delivering his lines like normal. Nobody seems to be saying anything out of the ordinary or addressing the fact that he's kind of wearing this mask. And the dialogue starts changing, and they start dropping hints of things. They keep referring to he who is not to be named, as if he's going to come around. And perhaps the unspeakable one. And then at a certain point, the action changes, and the father murders his son, and the body lies on stage, and again, no one addresses it. You see throughout the auditorium TV screens start lighting up with different camera angles that are showing the action on the screen. And so you're seeing this, they're sitting at a table when this starts happening, you see it from above, and then later on you start seeing action from behind, so you can see yourself in the audience, you see it from the side. And then strange music starts coming through. and the actions on stage get more dreamlike. They're moving slowly, still repeating the same dialogue, but it's changing and getting a little bit more disturbing. And as the music starts, people in the audience start standing up, and they start moving towards the stage. Not everybody, but one or two people from over here, a group from over there. And you can't tell whether they're actors, whether they're plants or not. And they start moving towards the stage. And when they get on the stage, they start crawling. They start crawling around the actors. And you see they start forming shapes when you're looking at the camera views. And at the very end, all of these actors are kind of, or not actors, all of these people from the audience are writhing around and joining. It's a little disturbing, a little depraved, even if you're used to seeing their kind of grotesque stuff.
They're fully clothed still?
Some of them are fully clothed.
Oh.
Some of them have managed to slip out of what they're wearing? Or?
Yeah. And they're blending on top of each other and underneath each other, so you can't even tell anymore. And it kind of forms this human face, which when you see it from above, they're all lying on the stage wrapped around this table of these actors. And the face kind of turns into a smile, and then the curtain shuts, and the show is over.
Now, does the monitor stay on when the curtain shuts?
No, they go black. Everything goes black. The lights go black. Curtain closes. The house lights come on. No one comes out for an applause. That's it. Show's done.
How did the other people in the audience react?
What I have, go ahead.
The reaction of other people in the audience, some look confused. Some are like, oh, that was really good, and this is San Francisco, so people are kind of like into, it's kind of pushing the boundaries, and I haven't seen that technique before, and it really, they start talking kind of.
So harking back to our Dillinger's Dead, am I getting the impression some of these people are saying this was great because they were told this is great, and they're just sort of jumping on the
Some are. There are some people, though, who are staring at the stage and not moving.
What was the name of the play?
Carcosa on the shores of Lake Halid. But some people are clearly entranced by this, and are like, some people are not talking, and are just like trying to process it.
Now, is this before or after the incident in one of background information?
Answers. Go ahead.
So you're asking whether it happened in this event in your backstory. This happened, so you have seen this, the baseball game is on a Saturday, let's say. You saw the play on a Monday, and this would have happened, you got this report on a Friday. So this is just
like
the day
yesterday?
before. Yeah, yesterday.
Okay.
So I would have seen this.
You've had a week to kind of process what you saw.
Okay, so Monday. So, would it have been recommended just by a student in general, or or would a student that has been like in my counseling would I have heard it from one of them?
Yes, it was one of the students that was in your counseling.
In my counseling.
Okay.
And then being told about the imagery from my students that is in. Can I say that out loud or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would I recognize the squirming, large, pale face? Would it have been something similar to what my students have described to me in their dreams?
I mean, the imagery is similar.
Okay.
Weird
and
faces.
from what it says here, it looks like I do a lot of research, but okay. I was just wondering about my library. So.
Sure. So as you guys think about the game, or think about the play, the game progresses. It's now 6th inning. And top of the 6th, so the Giants are on the field. The Dodgers are at bat. There's crack of the bat, ball goes into the stands. It's a home run for the Dodgers. And as there's kind of a scuffle, kind of to grab the ball out in the field, you all start hearing beeps and buzzes and vibrations. Your cell phones are going off. You're getting a text message.
Like everyone's
Everyone's
around,
getting a text message.
everyone
You're not
around
getting a
us.
text message. You're not getting a text
I'm on the
message.
field.
You should be getting
So
text messages.
Gordon and Kosuke are not getting text messages because, for whatever reason.
How close was the action where the ball was to where I was sitting?
You're sitting kind of along the third. You're all kind of near like the third base line,
okay.
So you're not getting home runs.
Yeah.
Or foul ball or something.
I'll check my text.
You all look at your phones.
Yeah.
There is Everyone around you is also picking up their phones and checking in. It's weird.
Everyone around, like, I'm just sitting there and I look over here.
Yep.
Text. I look to my right. Text.
Yep.
Behind me. Text.
Mhm.
Behind me. Text.
I'm going to check. I'm going to ask the person sitting next to me if his text is the same as my
There's a
text.
symbol that appears for a second, and it's kind of like two fish hooks and then a straight line coming off of the center point. And your phone kind of flashes yellow, and then the text is gone. And then you no longer are getting any bars.
Two fish hooks,
Yes, it looks
up
like
or
this.
down? Oh.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
And you're no longer getting cell service.
I will. So the guy sitting next to me, was that the same thing you got? Did you see the odd flash of yellow?
I think it was. My wife got it too. She's sitting next to him, and she's like, "Oh, that's so strange. Do you think
Got
do you
any
have a
service?
computer virus? Is there a virus on the phone?"
Got any service?
No,
What happens when I check my phone?
you're not getting any service either, but you didn't get that message.
I'm going to check my phone to see if anything's wrong with it, like electronically.
I'm gonna call the check-in or try to call the check-in in my office. Imagine if
I
I can
shut my
get
You're not
phone
getting
off and
signal
turn
at
it
the
back
moment,
on.
but
nothing's working.
not right now.
3641.
Your phone seems to be fine.
Is it? So it's just no signal. Everything else works just fine.
Right.
And the Jumbotron's still up, the lights are still on.
The lights are
The
still
game
on.
is progressing,
The game is progressing, yeah. Because the people on the field don't know what's happening.
Local Wi-Fi?
That's still working.
That's still working? Well, then I send an email.
Would I've noticed, recognize the symbol from the play?
You didn't. It seems reminiscent. They were sort of. They were constantly in motion, the bodies that were kind of writhing about. And you might have seen something like that.
Okay.
And then while there's this kind of this hubbub, people have stopped paying attention to the game. There's this murmur going through the crowd. And suddenly,
I'm watching everyone.
Mhm.
Because, one, the play kind of disturbed me.
yes.
But I
Oh.
meant to say this. When I went back to my study or wherever, I started doing research that week. From Monday till
Sure.
the game, I would have done research on the name of it, look for some of the symbols, possibly.
Okay, so let's also digress there for a second, because I also forgot to make you guys roll for sanity.
Thanks.
You forgot Scott's favorite part.
I did it. You passed?
Yeah,
I passed.
I did
I
not.
took a
No,
sanity beating before
Actually,
I even
yeah.
started.
You guys who looked this
Oh,
up
no,
on
it's a
the
play.
too.
No, it's
Well,
Oh, we will give that for the cell phone watch? For looking at the cell phone?
yeah, because when you look at the symbol, it makes you kind of nauseous.
No.
Yeah. It did not feel good, or almost like you have a headache. It didn't.
Yeah! I got a 3.
You passed?
No. But it was just a software.
You just lose a set. You lose 1 point sanity.
So this was for the play?
Yeah.
And
You
then
pass?
this is for, yes, this is for the home. No, I didn't.
You just lose 1 point.
Yeah. It kind of disturbed me because I saw it a second time.
Can I read the crowd? You said that they're all kind of, there's a murmur. Is it like this is going to turn into a panicked crowd murmur?
People are frightened. They don't know what it means, though. It's more kind of like they're discussing, like, did you see that? What happened?
Well, and I'm more concerned about getting the other priests and the sisters out if we need to kind of mosey our way out before turn.
Okay, so you're looking.
Yeah, kind of.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is this a murmur that goes through the crowd that even the players, like I'm in center field, so I'm not that far from the warning track. Is it one of those like what?
Well, there's a
Or is
home
it-
run hit, so some people are like, boo,
Yeah.
and then, they stopped cheering and booing, and that normal kind of baseball buzz has been replaced by something else. That's weird to you.
Okay.
First chance I get, I'm getting enough to go for a lane line.
Okay, hold 1 second.
Yeah, no, just that's my action.
Anything else? So you were doing some research. So going
Yeah.
back to that, you weren't able to find the play itself is a original production that was created by a group in San Francisco. That's the
What's the name of the group?
yes. I'll have that to you. It is the Xanthus Annex Repertory Company. Xanthus Annex.
Xanthus.
All I got out
You
of
can
that-
roll your ancient Greek.
All I got out of that was Xanax.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, it's just an acronym.
You have ancient Greek?
She has
I
ancient
guess you.
Greek?
Yeah, no, she does.
I guess she does.
Crackers. No.
Something about a king. You're not quite sure.
Would the name ring any bells for someone with Arabic?
No.
Okay.
And not Latin either, I assume.
What about English?
You didn't see the play.
Oh, no.
So, while this murmur is still continuing, you start hearing this sound that's getting closer. It's kind of
What
like
type of sound? Sounds like a
Helicopter?
helicopter.
It is in fact a helicopter that is lowering over the field. And there's a big broadcaster being, martial law has been declared. Move to your homes. You will be safe in your homes. People start yelling.
Whereabouts in San Francisco is?
Yes. So AT&T Park is located kind of here, right below 80. So it's on the ocean. It's on the water, kind of right here.
So kind of not in South Market, but more like in the port.
Yeah. So it's like
So
up here.
where are you?
We're so I know this map better. So we're up here. We need to go all the way.
Here,
Okay. So we need to go all the way down to like Silver Terrace, Bayview area.
if you're trying to get there.
If we're
Martial
trying to
law. When did this become
Where-
Cloverdale? Okay.
And
Why are we going there?
When the
That's where
monster
we have
showed up.
our
Duh.
I guess.
and so you're actually within sight. You can see from the stadium. You can see the Bay Bridge that leads to Oakland.
Yeah.
You're on the water. It's actually right on the water.
Okay. Are there like police cars on the bridge, like clearing it, or?
Can you see the Coast Guard in the water?
Are you looking at the helicopter? Or are you looking at the bridge? You actually, where you are, you'd have to move around where you are in the thing to see the Bay Bridge.
I want to keep checking the crowd. I want to keep an eye on the crowd because if they're going to panic run,
Yeah, they're getting really antsy.
is there a way to get the sister, the group of us out safely? Is like now the time to go?
I would say
Roll
stay
psychology.
put.
Sure.
Just stay in your seat and let everybody else.
35 under 45.
It'd be a good idea to start getting good.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab the sister. Does anybody else look confused? Like they're not sure what to do, or is it just a bunch of panic?
It gets really panicked when something seems to clip the tail rotor of the helicopter and it starts spiraling down.
Yeah,
and
was it-
crashes onto the field and explodes.
Was this a
Roll a dodge, center fielder.
Directly onto center field, and then
And,
It's more the pitcher gets it. He's done.
Oh, no. Because I was just like, well, we're going to go up to the mound. And I thought, well, the mound, no, let's go to the manager at first base and see what the hell's. Roll a dodge. Great.
Shrapnel.
Great. 20 under 72. So
Yeah, well, you're athletic. So
I am athletic.
There's this big chunk of metal that comes and slams into the backstop. And
Okay, time to go to the dugout.
Was this a
This
police
game is
helicopter
officially
or a
concluded.
military helicopter?
Yeah, look military.
Military.
Great.
We'll start making our way out.
Gordon receives an email alert,
Yeah.
and all it says is case blue furnace, which you know is a contingency plan that means that they're sealing off the city.
Shirley asked about our group. You said that we had me and another father and 3 sisters, including her. Does that sound 10 of us?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you guys start moving towards the exits, and you're already up and kind of moving when the helicopter goes down, and so everyone gets up and they start losing it. It is mass panic now. People screaming for the exits. Some people are spilling onto the field.
people are getting pushed and shoved down seats, not
Yeah.
necessarily on purpose, but in panic.
It's rough.
I'm going to keep a hold of anybody in our group that I can.
I'm going to say you get a hold of Sister Rosemary.
That sounds about right. Okay.
So you guys are headed towards the exits.
Yeah.
What does Lorne cook do?
Warren Cook
Okay.
stands up and starts moving towards the exits at a reasonable pace.
Okay, so you're just trying to keep yourself steady and not.
I'm
People are
also
slamming
going to,
into you and
I'm
bumping
going
you.
to try to the people that were sitting to either side. I'm assuming we kind of joked around a little bit
Sure.
watching the game and whatnot. I'm
Are
gonna try
you
to
friendly
keep
that way?
it
You
side.
make small talk either, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Especially if they had any young ones or anything like that.
Mhm.
Little ones.
I'm going to try to make sure that they're directly in front of me. I'm kind of a well-built person, even though I am elderly. I'm going to try
You're
to
not that elderly. They're going to 60s. Well,
True.
60 is not.
Oh my
elderly,
God.
dude. Are you kidding?
I have a
me?
birthday in a couple days. I'm gonna punch you in the throat. 60 is elderly. I became.
I would imagine with your job, you keep yourself decently fit.
Yeah.
You've got certain.
Out of game. How old are you?
32.
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah.
No, in fake life.
I mean, I thought he
In
meant
half-
like his
no,
character.
in half-
in half-life.
He said out of game.
What do you think? By 63, you're gonna check out? Okay, moving on.
I didn't expect to get this far.
Youth is
So you're
wasted
trying to
on the
shepherd a group
young.
out as well.
Yes.
Okay. Gordon?
I imagine, given that information that came through the email, the code blue furnace, I have someplace I'm supposed to report to.
You actually don't because you're too new to the area. Like, you know that there's military installation in Oakland, which is across the bridge,
I'm not getting over there, right?
which you're familiar with. Well,
Is the line across the bridge?
Well, you can either try and start looking there specifically to get around the other side of the stadium, or once you get out, you can try.
Well, I mean, wouldn't I know where the line is drawn on the map? Like, what is the
Oh yeah,
quarantine
for
zone?
you've been reviewing mostly stuff for Oakland. If you were going to seal off San Francisco, it would make sense to seal off.
So that's not really an out. Unless maybe
You got military
high
ID on you.
credentials, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess, yeah.
Yes.
Is the Jumbotron showing a picture of what might have a replay? Because I'm quite sure when the chopper came over the field, there might have been cameras on it. It's showing what the hell clipped the rotor?
The Jumbotron is frozen on a guy who's got a baseball, who's caught in the stands, being like, "Arr!" You know.
So it has stopped. They have
It's
stopped.
paused.
Okay.
Yeah. Theoretically, whoever's running the Jumbotron is booking it.
Right. Okay.
As most people are in this situation. So you're headed towards the dugout.
Back to the clubhouse.
Okay, so you're headed back. And a bunch of other players are streaming with you. And it's getting confusing because some people are coming, I don't know why they're coming out of the field, but they're confused. They're spilling kind of over the sides of the stands, and people are running around.
It's a chance for sponsored hooliganism.
I-
I can run out on the
Yeah.
field. Well, hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna die
so
anyhow.
my thought was I was going to go see if I could help him by the helicopter, but also the paths in the hallways in the dugout are going to be less crowded.
So you're going towards the field.
If I'm closer to the field, I mean, I don't know where I'm going to see.
You've got good seats, so you could be.
If I were closer to the field versus the
Exit? Yeah.
pedestrian exit, I would try to go down there and go out the hallways.
Great. Okay.
Athletes would use.
That's fine. So there's a little bit of heat because there's an active fire. It's not near you, but and there's some people milling about. Some people are acting pretty weird, and like, you know, one guy's got like a bass and he's running around with it. And some people are like, yeah, we're on the field.
I ain't got time for that.
And there's some people who are panicked and don't know what's going on, and there's some people who are dropping and falling all throughout the stadium.
Like just like unconscious.
Give me a spot hidden because there's a lot of people standing up.
Everyone?
If you're actively looking to see what people
Oh, yeah.
are.
Or actively looking for threats. Yes.
Can't see anything.
Got it.
I ain't got nothing.
I got it. 17.
So the people on the field,
Under 50.
it's you're more able to see it because there's not as many people packed together.
Yeah.
And you see some people around the field, and then they kind of look kind of woozy, and then they start seizing. They're having a seizure on the
Faces of pain or faces of I'm about to vomit.
Well, at first they just look disoriented, and then they fall to the ground and are having a seizure, just shaking, foaming at the mouth, you know, just like an epileptic fit.
So I mean, at that time, I have first aid plus
But wait, did you pass?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
care. Yeah. I mean, the care that I have for people, I would just jerk my hand out of his hand and just start looking around to see if there was anybody close to me.
Do you
doing
resist?
that.
If she's gonna pull out of my hand, I will resist. But if she goes a different direction, I'll go with her. That's fine.
Okay.
So I guess I would find the closest seizing person.
I need you both to roll dodges because
Lots
there's
of
people
people,
actively running past you, and people are getting trampled who are falling.
Yeah.
So you're having to fight for this.
I'm under. So your dodges. No.
So I tripped over my shoelace.
What did you roll?
40.
Oh, that's not
40 over.
40 over 30.
not what it is.
Oh, that's pretty
You actually, you're trying to get to the nearest person. They're kind of in between two rows. You know, they fall in between in a row of seats.
Mhm.
And as you're doing that, you get clipped and spun around, and you take a point of damage as you fall and kind of get knocked a little bit. But you're able to recover move over to the father of this person, and you're trying to do what you can. And with a seizure, that's not much.
While she's kind of taking stock of whatever's going on, I'm gonna try and like keep people away from her actively.
Yeah, well,
while she's checking out.
Since you're in between the seats, in between the rows now.
Yeah.
People are some people are kind of scrambling over the seats, but for the most part, you're in the clear now.
Okay.
So most people are just in the exits and the movables.
And that's why you sit.
I made my spot hidden. Are there any of the people that have come onto the field that have and have checked out?
Yeah. Some people on the field have seen stuff.
Then I'm gonna grab. I mean, our team has doctors or medics or people, and be like, "Hey, that guy and that guy, they need help."
Okay. Do that in character for me.
Okay. I run up to the medic and go, "These two help."
We gotta get out of here, man! And one of them runs off, but the other one's like, "Oh, jeez," goes over and starts trying to tend to that. And so then you continue into the dugout.
Yeah.
And Gordon, are you going into the dugout now?
I'm looking for a different way out.
Okay, so you start going with the players, and no one's giving you any trouble. You're just going with them. You guys are tending to the sick person, and you're trying to guide some people. Okay, so you're moving them, you're herding them along. It's really tough because it's like streams and rivers of people that are going in different directions, sort of panicked and frenzied. It's a little bit of a stampede. But what's your size?
My size is 12.
Your strength is?
My strength is 13.
13. Yeah, you're able to manage it. You're able to keep yourself up. At one point, there's a child near you, and he falls, and you yank him back up. And you're pulling and pulling. And give me a spot. No, give me a spot. You are able to see, you're passing through some doors that no one seems to be going through, but it's out of this crush of people. So, you want to go through those doors?
Yeah, as long as it's away from the crowd. If nothing else, I'll let the crowd pass and then follow.
You go through the doors, but you lose track of the people that you're trying to guard. They just kind of get moved past. But now you're in this hallway. It's kind of empty. You're in the beginnings of the bowels of the stadium. But it's a point where you can stop and catch your breath. Okay. So the clergy, or not the clergy, but the nun and the priest, you're tending to.
The guy or the person that's seizing.
Yeah.
So.
Is there probably a stick or something from like a corn dog or something we could have them at least put in the mouth?
That's really gross, but sure.
It's that or possibly lose a tongue.
Right.
I mean,
this is not a observation.
So I would assume. Would you like me to roll?
I've got.
I don't know. Yeah, you got first aid.
I've got first aid. So.
Go ahead.
Jesus.
She stabs them.
I stabbed them to death with the corn dog.
All right, so you
stick.
fail. So you know that with just first aid knowledge, you can give them a stick so they don't bite off their tongue.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of clear things out of their immediate area so that they don't, spasm onto a hard surface or hit their heads or anything like that. But you take your jacket off and kind of put it on the guy's head. But that's about all you can do. Yeah. And until this person stops, there's not much you can do for them.
So I stand up to look around. Does it look like any of the other seizing people are stopping? Or
not right now. I mean, and we're talking about this has been about 30 seconds.
Right.
So how many people? I mean, we're on the third baseline. We have a decent view. How many people are we seeing around the?
Maybe 100, maybe 200. You're talking about a stadium that holds thousands of people.
But still, that's a significant amount.
A percentage, yeah.
Side note, we were winning the game.
Yes.
When it was called. Okay, just checking.
Yeah, at this point, I believe it's at the point where if it's forfeited, if it's over, you guys would consider that.
Okay, good.
I think it's after 6 innings.
Yes.
Can I roll first aid maybe to see if I can determine what's causing it, or maybe pharmacy? If maybe it's a drug that maybe 500 people in the crowd were drugged or took drugs, or
you've seen some of this with drugs, and there could be any number of causes.
Okay.
But unless they all took the same drug or had some sort of disease, all of these people happening at the same time. Yeah. That's nothing you've experienced or heard of. That's just weird.
It's just very weird.
Very weird. And yeah.
And are we still hearing that noise? Or no, that
was
the
the
helicopter.
helicopter.
That was the helicopter. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you're not hearing.
Yeah, you're not hearing.
You're just hearing.
Anymore, you're hearing.
So, I don't know. I guess we just kind of stay here and keep this person from thrashing their head.
The reason why I stood up and looked at to see how many people were seizing is because if it's an epidemic proportion in regards to the size of the crowd, I would be like, okay, there's something spreading throughout these people, and I'm going to step away from it.
You're gonna move away
Because
from.
there's nothing that I can do for this person, and there's no way, we don't have cell service,
Mhm.
there's no way that we can call for help.
So,
Finding help. I mean, yeah. In this situation, it's a rational thing to say. We need to get more resources. You cannot do this just the two of you.
Right.
so with that in mind, are they streaming? Most people are streaming up and out, I assume.
Yeah.
So us going down to the field, would that be an easier path?
Yeah. We do that.
So I'm gonna point that you want to go this
yeah,
way.
let's go.
And we'll take even if it takes a
And
little
I'll
longer
follow.
by going over the steps, over the seats. That I want to take the easier, less crowded way.
And she's pretty athletic. I have a navigate of 40, and so is that navigate look at a map, or navigate because I do all the hiking, I can
I would say
trail tracking? What?
Both looking at maps and also just kind of like orienteering with a compass or even by the stars.
No, it's not like
Okay,
driving
Okay,
a pirate
so
ship.
it's not
No,
like
pilot.
it's not like
no.
me looking down and seeing all the people and say, okay, this is the quickest way.
No,
through the
you'll be able to
crowd,
get at this
or-
point enough people move the other way that you guys can get down
Right.
because the majority of them have fled through the exits.
Okay.
That's their natural instinct. So you guys can.
Are we seeing anything any destructive behavior from people? Are they ripping at seats or throwing punches, or is it just
A
general
limited
fear?
amount of that, yes.
Okay.
And you can't really tell if that's people just being freaked out or what.
Fear, yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, so there's a good portion of people who are just drunk.
okay.
So they're reacting to this weirdly. you know.
So, but we're not seeing like people are attacking others in a random.
Yeah.
There's no danger to us that way.
It's
No.
not a rage riot. It's a
Yeah.
panic riot.
Yes.
Okay.
Clubhouse phone 911.
Mhm.
Connect.
You have busy signal.
Well, it is martial law. I mean,
Okay. Well, I was wondering
Oh,
whether it
yeah.
was like,
So do
okay,
they
then I
take
just
the
hang it up and
hold on.
go to my locker and change.
I have a
So-
question. You said martial law. Does that mean they take the emergency system offline when martial law is?
no, it means that everybody and their
okay.
mother heard
called
martial law and called in.
Again, my understanding of Blue Furnace plan is limited. Would cutting off cell service be part of the plan? Because it is to cut off the city, isolated.
It could be in certain circumstances. There's, the kind of the grosser contingency plan that's covered by Blue Furnace, and there's individual things. And so, that in certain circumstances, you might want to cut off the cell service, but you can't know for sure whether this
So
is.
somebody in the hierarchy might have made the decision.
Yeah, it's very possible this was made by government officials. So as you come into the dugout, you see what you recognize as the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants trying to call someone on the phone. So you guys can describe yourselves to each other now. And you see a gentleman come down the steps, and it's
Okay. I'm relatively tall for being a center fielder. I am well built, work out regularly, tall for a Japanese man, and well built for a Japanese man. I mean, I'm obviously an athletic ball player. I've got the musculature underneath my uniform to the point that it's like, wow, this guy can throw and hit, and
Right.
that's why we picked him up.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Obviously, Asian in build, specifically Japanese. Most people would know that about the Japanese center fielder. I'm cursing in my own language and slamming the phone down and as you come down the steps.
you'd probably recognize him. He's a fan. He's well known. This is his first year, but he's kind of big free agent signing.
Yeah.
This is his first year in America, because he's
Face of the team,
not quite the new face of the team,
Yeah.
like the new star. So you would
And
probably be familiar with him if you're familiar with the team.
Murakami is on the back of my jersey.
Yes.
Well, then I'll just describe myself real quick.
I have a
Again,
real-
also tall, thin, obviously athletic to a point, but not nearly so as you. Dressed in a pea coat and a polo shirt and jeans. Well, or shaven and well groomed and all that. Dark hair. I'm size 14. Are you?
I'm size 17.
Okay, so you're bigger, considerably than me. But as soon as I see that he has a phone in his hand, I rush over, tap him on the shoulder, and can I try that?
Right.
Yeah. So then I try to call. First, I try to call the office. Any numbers that I would normally, consider emergency contact.
Nothing seems to be going through.
Okay, he starts to dial the first one, and I'm gonna hang the thing up and go, "You're not allowed. Dugout." I mean, I'm courteous enough to hand him the phone, and then I'm courteous enough not to let him use it.
Sure.
Then I get my ID out. Military.
Oh.
And
Go ahead. Quick question about Scott's description. What's your number?
What is my number?
What is your number?
What is my number? I didn't see. I am 28 years old, by the way, which makes me young. Very much as though I were like 32. I'm like close to that. Young.
Your number's whatever you want it to be, is what I'm saying. I didn't write down your number.
Okay, because never mind. Because I was also going to ask you where I bat in the lineup. Because that's kind of important to me.
You're very talented, and so you could easily bat leadoff because you've got that speed, but sometimes you've also got, not quite clean up power. You could be batting third. You're probably batting first now, but they're talking about switching you because you're going to get a slump.
Okay, then my number is 21. Just for those of you that wanted to know what my number was.
Yeah.
It's important.
It is important.
Maybe that's part of Julia's story.
And I was lead off hitter.
Yeah, if I wanted to be like really numerological heavy, which
would have been awesome.
Some plots I might do,
right?
Theoretically, not. But this one probably not.
So I flash military ID and I try to. So the lines that I would attempt to call first don't have any response. They're good. Busy signals.
Yeah, you're getting busy signals.
Then I'm going to just try and call maybe some acquaintances I know, or even the pizza shop that I frequent.
Nothing is getting.
Nothing's getting.
That's it. Everything's kind of jammed up. And then while you guys are working with a phone, incoming, not in a priest, walk into a dugout.
And not a priest and baseball player walk into a dugout.
So do you guys need to refresh what you guys look like, or do you guys all have that?
I'm good.
So
He's good.
you guys are together here. You see some guys trying to work a phone, not in a priest.
I'm gonna wait, but we have, I'm sure, some sort of dugout security. Are they still there?
No, they're gone.
Oh, they're gone. Oh, great. Okay.
Well, you were messing with the phones because he's dialed a couple of numbers now. Most of the people have fled.
Okay, I'm heading to my locker.
Sure.
I am bringing a bat with me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just because at this point, I've learned from some people that you don't leave the bat at home, Shirley. So I noticed they couldn't see who
what
I
kind
was
of clothes
looking
are you
at
changing
like
into?
that.
You're changing into your street clothes?
Yes.
I will approach the phone. Are you having any
No luck. Nothing's getting through.
Father Tom, Sister Rosemary?
Gordon.
Pleasure to meet you, Gordon. I'd like to get out of here as easily as possible. Do you work for the team?
No. I'm just a fan.
Okay. Do we see, like, is Scott's character the only one changing? Like, everybody just left? Or is there...
Yeah, right now it's just the four of you in this area.
And I'm headed towards the locker room.
And I would recognize him from the field, I assume.
I would say you can see the locker room kind of by the dugout phone, like something like that.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Because I'm gonna shower and like
So depending on what time you get there, you might see a man if you like look. There's the telephone's over here, so you see the man at the telephone, and then if you look down the hallway, there's an opening. You can see the player locker room, and there may or may not be a man in a state of undress, or you may or may not hear a shower and there's steam coming out.
Okay.
'cause I have a post game ritual. This is what happens.
Sure.
So as he's getting undressed and taking off his jersey, Mr. Murakami,
Right?
do you know the way out of here? The safest way out of here with a panic crowd like we've got?
Right.
Okay. Are you ready to leave?
No.
What else do you have to do?
I have to shower and get ready. God, I can't get this accent right now. This is bad. At least I'm not. Hello.
We'll give you a few minutes if you wouldn't mind leading us out of here. We're just trying to get away from this crowd safely. All right? Okay. And then I'm going to look for a bat or something sharp and sticky, like a knife. Not to you like while you're getting dressed. I'm going to take stock of what's here just in case I don't know, a roving band of miscreants come in.
Okay, so you're messing around.
I also will pick up a bat.
Bats are easy to find. They're plentiful.
Are there any of those weights that people put on the bats to
The ring weights.
Yeah,
yes.
the ring weights. Are there any of those laying around?
Oh
Yeah, I mean,
jeez.
they're definitely. Did you just hit yourself in the?
No, I'm waiting for him to pick up 2 or 3 of these and then just club somebody with them.
Yeah, so there
Well,
are.
I'm thinking more like projectiles, like because the bat should do enough damage by itself.
So the last thing on here is bat with the stats you'll need.
Okay.
So with the base chance and
Sure.
damage and all that. So you can get bats easy.
I took my favorite with me.
Sure.
Of course I did.
You don't find anything like knife-like.
Yeah.
They're not really equipped to do that
I
kind
didn't
of
think
stuff.
so either.
You might find
Scissors.
some. Yeah, there's scissors, but that's not going to work with a knife skill if that's what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
There's also some pills and things like painkillers.
I argued that if you separate them.
Uh,
No. The scissors.
Yeah, so you put one painkiller over here and another painkiller over there.
Like you find the painkillers are with the trainers. In the trainer's room, there's some scissors, some bandages, some pharmaceuticals.
let's talk about end of the world scenarios where military, like where martial law gets called. Like that's not ever happened in San Francisco, right?
Oh, as far as I know.
Not since maybe race riots or other.
San
The
Francisco
1910 fire
Yeah.
was the
But
last
even-
big fire. There
yeah.
were 4 of them.
And I don't know if what kind of military presence they had there at the time. This is weird. Well, this is obviously very weird, very exceptional circumstances.
Is there a backpack of any kind that we just see lying around or a bag?
Players, backpacks.
I'm gonna grab a bag.
And there's equipment bags that'll hold
Yeah.
bats and cleats.
I'm gonna grab a bag, a medium-sized bag, something easy to carry, and put like bandages, maybe some ibuprofen. I don't want anything big.
Sure.
I'm not looking.
You're looking for over-the-counter stuff, not
Yeah,
prescription.
I'd clearly, if we get grabbed, it'll be, well, you stole some ibuprofen, that was bad. Not, well, you've got a whole bag full of oxy, that's strange.
Yes.
That would be out in the open anyway.
Well, it might in the medical area for that.
This is pure supposition on my part, but I've seen so many players of various sports go down with horrifying injuries, go back to the locker room,
Come
Yeah.
back out.
and then they come back and they're like,
Superman.
clearly something
Well,
has happened back
but
there.
again, what I said was not out in the open.
Yeah, no.
Sure, but he's rifling through
I'm
stuff.
totally rifling
Yeah.
through it. Like, so we have a basic first aid kit,
Yes.
band-aids and bandages and that kind of stuff. I'm just going to toss in this
First
bag.
aid kit, a couple bats.
Yeah.
Anything else exceptional that you would want? You get a catcher's mask?
His arm goes
No.
through a wood chipper, and two innings later, he's batting.
I do pick up a batting helmet.
Okay, you
I
can
want a
have
batting
that.
helmet.
We'll pull off the benches in the locker room and use those as two-handed weapons now.
That's not a good idea.
That's the other thing that wasn't included on your stats for the bat. Are you going to make us swing two-handed, or is it? Can we significant? Yes, it is a two-handed.
It's a
swing.
if you want to get that kind of damage, you gotta swing
I'm
two-handed.
way
Can
better
I
at watching
sacrifice
than I
my
am at
damage
batting.
bonus to swing one-handed?
It's gonna be really awkward. Like you think of like trying to like.
What's the damage on club? Bottom line of the sheet.
1d8 plus
plus-
damage bonus, which is
Oh,
which
okay.
I thought was 124.
Okay.
1d8 plus 124.
Yeah.
Splorge!
Yeah, you don't have damage bonus.
You don't have damage bonus.
So
I really just want to get a medical kit, and then I'll pull Sister Rosemary to make sure that I didn't miss anything.
And can someone answer this question for me? I haven't watched baseball in a while. Like, would the batting helmet have any kind of chin strap or anything?
No, but it
No,
fits
batting helmet.
very
but
solidly.
snug
Right,
as all
that's
can
what I'm
be.
thinking about. Okay, so
So I probably have to take a minute to find
oh,
what
that's
I
fine.
want,
Yeah, no problem.
but I totally would.
I have a child size head, so none of them will fit.
There are some small baseball players. So you might.
Do I have any need to ice anything while I'm getting undressed? Am I like, oh, I'm torn up this game, or am I feeling pretty good for just 6 innings?
You're okay.
Okay.
And you've taken your shower, and that's kind of loosened you up.
Okay, because I didn't know if I needed to ice before I got in the shower, and if I needed to hit the tub when I was done.
It wasn't a full game. You don't need a whole thing.
Okay.
You're fine.
Because I would have taken the time. You guys like, what are you doing?
That's fine. There's plenty of time for us to pack stuff. Is there anything else that we might need from down here? Gordon, anything else you think we might need from down here to get headed out?
If you can find a gun in one of the players' locker rooms or lockers, that might be appropriate, just in case. Let me know.
I'm sorry. What do you do exactly?
IT.
Oh, okay. Does he even have to roll or persuade? Or am I just gonna buy that?
No, you buy that.
Okay, that's fine.
You're used to saying that.
So he's practiced at it. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah, he works in IT. Yeah, we'll wait for Mr. Murakami.
Okay, and you are in the
corridor
hallway.
I'm in.
You're in the corridor.
If everybody seems to be leaving, I may never have given a chance to explore a stadium
Yeah.
like this.
And you-
Unattended. I'm just supposed to start exploring.
You hear some banging around and
I can't leave. I'm gonna get penalty. I have to go out.
some people saying like, grab the bandages, and then kind of like this hissing sound that sounds like a shower coming down from one of the hallways. And people like rifling through stuff, and then you hear this clatter as a bunch of bats fall over, which you assume are bats.
I'm gonna open the door and look in.
Okay, you are in the hallway that connects to the locker room, and you see these three people, which is the priest and the nun, and the kind of the guy dressed a little preppy hanging out, and then presumably there's someone still in the shower.
Are you guys dressed like a?
No,
I'm dressed very much like a priest.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
Would you have anything
She's
on
in
your
full
head?
Giants gear, like, yeah,
Okay.
we're number one.
Giants gear.
Sure.
Because I have the Giants hat,
Yeah.
Giants gloves.
But you probably hold yourself a little different than most normal, like.
I'm gonna go ahead and
No,
open
I'm
the
an
door.
athletic.
She's straight a fangirl.
It depends how strict your order is, and she's
Yeah.
one of the looser ones in a pretty loose city.
Is everything?
Not loose in that. Sorry,
It's okay.
I meant it in
You're
a
not
good
a
way,
loose
though.
nun.
Did you?
Use the word
No, I
relax.
meant it in a nice way. Relax. Relax.
Did you? Have you described yourself? I don't remember.
No, I haven't.
So this
So,
guy
yeah, well, this guy
pops
walks
up with
in.
a door.
Open the door. I'm
With a
wearing
cane.
Giants
Who are
jersey.
you?
I'm Lorne. Are you all right?
Do you guys believe that he's Lorne?
I do.
You need a persuade roll for that.
No, I'm sorry.
Are you guys all right in here?
Yes.
I kind of back up and I'm holding the bat down.
Oh, yeah, I'm wearing a Giants jersey, blue jeans, clean shaven.
Lauren, we're waiting
face.
for the center fielder to kind of lead us out of here safely.
Oh, you guys
So
know
would
another
you-
way out of here?
The center fielder hopefully does. Would you like to come with us?
Yeah, I tried to go out the main entrance and just
Yeah,
got
it's
trampled.
kind of a mess out there. Okay, yeah, you can make yourself useful. There's bats aplenty, so
Are you expecting?
you never know. In a panic like this, people can become awful, unlike themselves.
What do you look like again? Are you big? Are you small? Are you
I'm
hunched over with a crick in your back and a cane because you're so old?
He looks like a person
I
that's a
have-
raisin.
Nice.
Oh, what?
A raisin person, if you want. Is a were raisin.
about 6 foot, medium build.
Not hunched over or
No,
obviously
yeah.
ancient in your ways, no long wispy beard. No? Okay, go ahead. Just check.
I'm clean shaven, both
Okay.
beard and head.
I'm going to finish getting dressed in my street attire, which is relatively nice, a suit-ish. And I will, as part of my finishing, I go to my locker, reach down into a small, like not even a foot around bag, and pull out a handful of white-ish powder and head back to the field.
Oh my god. Are you gonna do tea service too? I'm just saying.
Mr. Murakami, where are you headed?
Back to the dugout.
For is it the way out?
No, I will be back in a moment.
Okay.
Speaking of which, can we
We
look
really
out
don't
into
have
the
time
field,
for
or
this right now.
what's going on
Can
the
you please
field?
just show us the way out and then come?
One moment.
I'm
And I head back and 3 lines of salt in the three
Okay.
directions. That's what I do when I end the action. Not leaving until I finish my stuff.
So out on the field,
5-10 minutes left, and then
there's a couple of people who are lying there. Unless you get close, you can't figure out why. You would recognize that some of the people who are having seizures are now just on the field. They look like they're breathing. There is a fire raging around the wreckage of the helicopter. It doesn't look like anybody could have survived that. And further off, if you look into the distance, you can see the Bay Bridge, and it looks like there may be some fires and some police lights. You see, like far away, it looks like kind of the flashing of the red and blues, and kind of glow on certain portions of the bridge.
I'm gonna grab a baseball bat.
Okay.
And
Are you
then-
going to grab anything else?
I'll look around, see what's all around.
Do you look for anything specifically?
This is the first time I've ever been in a locker. I don't really know what to look for. I'm just kind of looking.
Okay.
And then
basically
I come back in, finishing the end of the end game ritual, as it were, with the salt. That's what the powder was.
and then head back in and go this away.
All right. And so you follow the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants through the bowels of the stadium.
All right.
And we'll pause.
That's cool. That will do us tonight for Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Gnarltep Side Quest. You can just check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. You can head over to iTunes and give us a rating. You can buy our shirts over at slashloot.com, and we will talk to you guys real soon.